The win was the fact that you got to go to the studio in the first place, and you're not digging
Facts.
a fucking ditch.
Facts.
You know
You
what I
know what I'm
mean?
saying? And work. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Work. And if I can just come in here and work, I don't have to work the other job. This is me doing me right here.
yeah,
That's the win. And if I made something that my radar says, this is crazy, Trinidad,
yeah,
or whatever, then we won. And
yeah.
anything
Right,
else after that is a bonus.
right.
Or whatever.
Correct.
So that is
I,
something
I
that
completely
had to
concur.
come up with.
Yeah, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Do I have
Question on you, brother.
okay? Question on me. What the two-part question? What's been the best and the worst thing about this for you? This lockup?
I'll start with the best first.
Yeah.
Takes other people to make the domino effect.
Right. No,
You
you're
know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, shit, man, I'm working my fucking ass off in this shit. And when other people are not ready or they don't know or whatever, it's like, hey, man.
Yeah. No, I hear you, and I think a lot of people got caught. You know, you got caught a little bit too. It's like myself included. It's like nobody was prepared for this. So
Facts.
back to adapting. It's like a lot of songwriters I know like didn't have a home setup. A lot of people that I know, the producers, like work in tandem and weren't able to do a lot of stuff by themselves. Like you know what I mean? Like you develop a way to work, and I think that like over the last 10 years, I've developed a way to work, and it's definitely not by myself. So it's like back to what you're saying, like you're forced to figure it out. And I think it kind of runs that same philosophy, like where you're in the gym, like if you're just training your upper body all the time, you look like a crazy person because your legs are two sticks. It's like I don't often exercise by what I mean, this kind of muscle. And it's been kind of nice to like just be. Some of the shit that I've been making is weird as fuck, but like I'm weird as fuck, so like it just is what it
It's like,
is.
all right, cool.
Yeah, that like it's like I hear what you're saying on both those things. It's tough to be scared to go outside. Not so much that you're gonna get sick, but that you're gonna get somebody else sick. I think more for me, and then
Okay. I
and
respect
then
that.
and then yeah, it's just like it's tough. It's tough to be cooped up. Like not like I said, you got to keep your mind busy and keep your insides going.
Yeah,
But it
like soaking
helps
in the
when you
moment.
focus. Yeah,
Like,
right.
that's just weird.
Yeah, yeah,
That's just weird. Like, I don't talk like that.
yeah,
You know
right,
what I'm
right.
saying? I don't live like that. I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, I don't live like that. I don't talk like that.
Yeah.
I'm not living for no fucking moment. I'm making the moment and keep on moving.
Yeah, right.
You know
And
what I'm
that's true.
saying? Like, that's how my mind has been operating.
Yeah. No, and you have to. It's a hustler's mentality. Most of the people that I know in the music business that are true survivors are hustlers, no matter what. You diversify your bonds, like that Wu-Tang Dave Chappelle skit, right? It's like you have to diversify your bonds, like at all
Exactly.
times. Some like and I'm not like shitting on anybody, but like some people that were in the music, most people in the music business. I mean, Dre was in the music business for God knows how long. He was my hero. He made most of his money after he got out of it. Puffy, same waves. Like it's like
Right?
but there's a lot of hustle to figure out, you know, what what's what, and it's difficult when you're on a path of hustling. Your train's on a track, you're hustling, you're figuring out blah blah, and then all of a sudden your train just gets taken off and putting on a different thing. Like then what do you do? But I think that if you figure out what you do once your train's back off or off, once it gets back on, you're just going to be better at what you were doing when it's back on the track. So
Now, especially if you take advantage of working on what your mind is allowing you to work on. Hey, Frank.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, definitely.
it's important to whatever that is that you actually do like doing. I think during this quarantine, max out at it.
Yeah, right.
Max out at it.
Yeah,
Whatever it is. You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
Max out at it so that when you come back, whenever this shit is over, you will have a new skill.
Yeah, for sure.
Something will be sharp as shit.
Yeah, and when it started, I was like, oh, "Fuck, I'm gonna learn French." I got my French book out, and I was like, we're doing push-ups and shit. And then I was like, 2 days in, I was like, you know what? Never, fuck that.
Man, I was like,
Yeah,
oh, I'm going to know Spanish. Man,
yeah,
I still only know hola and nothing
yeah.
else. Like
I'm coming
that,
out like Russell Crowe from Beautiful Mind, like writing stuff all over, and it's not happening.
I want to be Lucy so bad from that movie, but I'm not
Yeah,
Lucy.
right.
Like I want to be Lucy so bad. Like
Oh man,
I
that's
wish.
crazy.
So my
All
last
right,
question to you,
fire
uh,
off. Yeah.
um, and it ties into what we're saying. You said in one of your posts that you've been social distancing for a long time,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? But what I want to ask you is this: how much alone time does it take for you to realize that this is not healthy?
So I think it's perspective. You know what's crazy is I actually applied for an artist in residency program this year that was going to send me to a Newfoundland, to a coast in Newfoundland for like months. Like I love being by myself like at times just because it's something that I feel like I don't like the whole world being by themselves. I feel like that's messing with my head more than it's just me being by myself. Does that make any sense?
Say that
Like
again.
I like being by myself when the
Right.
world's moving. It makes me when I'm by myself, like I'm fine. When I start thinking about the rest of the world being by themselves and not being okay, it makes me
Ah,
not okay.
right,
Does
right,
that make
right, right,
sense?
right, right, right.
So
Because it's
like,
almost like it's special that I can find stillness in y'all
yeah,
craziness. But
yeah,
if we
yeah,
all
that
still,
and
it
just
makes
the
me
idea
agree.
that I think that fear, uncertainty breeds fear. Fear breeds unproductive, action. So it's like when I'm never afraid of myself. I have pretty good control over myself. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
like the rest of the I don't trust the rest of everybody else. Do you know what I mean? So
I
it's like for
understand.
me, the fear and the isolation don't combine for me. When I'm isolated, when I'm chilling by myself, when I'm in the woods or when that's my like kind of happy place, but I know I can go back when I want to go back.
Right.
Now it's like I'm inside, everybody else is outside inside, and they're all freaked the fuck out. And so like when is it okay for me to go back outside that you don't have there's no parachute to pull like when you get alone, when you get tired of being alone or whatever, right?
Right.
So it's not that I don't. I talked to a couple other people that I know that are musicians that are like, this is the best thing ever. Like I'm used to being in the studio solo, my headphones on and blah blah. But I think that for anybody, it's like the diversity, being able to choose when you're alone or you're not alone. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like being able to
Yes.
choose who you're surrounding yourself with or how you're talking. It's a big deal to have that taken away from you. So
Man, tell me
I
about
think
it.
that I think that that's the biggest problem is the lack of choice and unknowing. I used to be freaked the fuck out to fly when I was really young, like, and I started DJing. Like they were like, "You got to go to France," and I was like, "Oh my god, I don't want to go to France," because I was freaking out. And I got on a plane and freaked out, and I've learned that it was about control. It's less about being up in the air. And back to your probability thing, like the probability of you dying in a plane is like less than you getting crushed by a vending machine. So like logically, it wasn't like that. It was just like I don't know what's going on up there. I have no idea what's happening in that cockpit. This dude who's driving, he could be
You
jacking
never
off or
see
like
him.
shit. He could. I have no idea what's going on up there. So like if he had a bad day, like I want to know what's going on. So it's like that's how I feel about this. What is going on? Like I don't understand. Like is so, and I don't think anybody has an idea what's going on. It switches so much that like my thing now is just like I don't pay attention. Like I figure if somebody's got some news for me that's going to change my day, you know what I mean? Like they're going to hit me up about it. Like if I
Right.
watch the ins and outs of everybody who died today, like it's gonna, you know what
Oh
I'm saying? Like
man.
that's just not a natural
The
thing.
news is crazy.
I'm out on the whole thing.
Crazy. The
Out on
news is crazy.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
alone.
man. No, 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 no. What you call it? I definitely second that notion. I love that you said that is being alone on your own terms is one thing, but being
Yeah,
alone, being forced into alone, and then everybody else is alone and quarantine is it don't make my moment feel as special anymore.
yeah, right.
You know,
Yeah,
and so
and like
crazy.
yeah, I mean, I went to the I'm I've learned over the course of my last, decades on the planet that I'm severely hyper aware and hypersensitive to other people's emotions. So it's like when I went to the grocery store for the first time like last week, I was shook because like I was like, what if I cough on an old guy? Like, what if like I touch this thing and like then I touch that thing? Like, I had this is a true story. I went up and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get some sausage. I never eat sausages ever. Like, I don't even like sausages, but I was like, I'm gonna grab some sausages because I
Right.
was like, I'm making breakfast just for myself. I'm gonna try and hook it up. So I went to grab these sausages, and then right when I grabbed the sausages, I had them in my hand, and I looked, and there was a pack of two. The sausages next door to the sausages I grabbed were like $1.50 instead of $3. And I was like, I'm just gonna pay for the $3 ones because I don't want anybody to see me put back the $3
Right.
ones. I
Yo,
didn't want
putting
to touch.
shit
I didn't
back
want to
is
touch the
so
other one.
scary now.
Yeah, I like literally was like, I'll just pay the extra $1.50 for these two packs of sausages because I don't want to put them back and
Wow.
have somebody like judge me about putting them back. So
Right.
like, I ended up buying, half the sausages that I
Nah, I mean it sounds funny, but when you are, like you said, you hypersensitive and hyper aware, especially when it comes to other people's feelings, it kind of makes you anxious.
Yeah, 100%. Like the most anxious. Like
Like,
out of here.
like a sausage. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
right.
Eggs,
Yeah,
milk.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like,
It's
what the
crazy,
hell?
man. It really stirs you up. Like as well for me, and I don't know about everybody, but that's what stirs me up is the concern for humanity. Like I have a very deep concern for everybody else's well-being, and like for me, it's like somebody said, "Yo, did you grab a bunch of toilet paper?" I was like, "Yo, if shit goes haywire, I'll take a shit in my neighbor's yard. I don't give a fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Who cares? You know what I mean? If you're worried about toilet paper, like, go grab it. But like for me personally, I'm good. However, you know what I'm saying? Like, is my grandma okay? Are you okay? Are my other friends okay? Like, is everything go? You know what I mean? That's my mentality. I take care sometimes to a fault of other people too much, and so it's difficult for me to go outside in a energy big ball of negative weirdo energy. I can feel all that shit. So as soon as I leave the house, shit feels weird. So you know what I
Man,
mean?
amen, amen to that, amen to that. I think, brother, it's your last question for me.
Okay. Shoot. Um, what's been your proudest moment in life thus far? In your career? Maybe
In
should I
career,
take
right?
no 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 in life. In life, what's your proudest moment? It's it so far. Not as Trinidad James, as
Just as the man.
as the man.
My father's respect.
Yeah.
I never had it growing up.
Yeah.
I just never had it.
All right.
I just never, I mean, like, just didn't have it. I just wasn't up to his standard.
When did you figure that out? When did you
Music,
figure out?
bro.
Yeah.
Music got my father's respect because
Yeah.
I had to play my game. My
Oh, right.
father, he paints cars for a living. He
Okay.
paints and he rebuilds old school cars for a living. He's done it for 50 years. He's always owned his own business.
Can I tell you something? My father paints cars and is a car for he worked for General Motors in the paint department for his whole life.
That's,
That's crazy. I
that's,
didn't I didn't know that about you. There we
yeah,
go. Both our
crazy.
dads are car painters.
Boom, right? So my pops has done it. He's owned his own business. When he moved from Trinidad as an immigrant, he came over here to America, hustled or whatever, and he's owned as long as I've known of my father, he's always owned his own car shop. He's
Hmm.
never worked for somebody.
Yeah. Right.
And so, when I got older, and you go work with your dad
Yeah.
or whatever. When he has his own garage, but you go work with your dad. And man, I mean, it just drew us further and further and further apart.
Right.
My parents split during the time or
Yeah.
whatever of me being in high school,
Yeah.
and I stayed with my dad because I wanted his approval so bad.
Right.
I grew up with my mom. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My mom is my dog. That's my
Yeah.
G right there or
Yeah.
whatever. But like when you want that attention from your father, you will do
Got it. Yeah.
anything to
I
get it.
understand.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So I remember like telling my mom, well, hey, y'all ain't together no more. Hey, I'm gonna stay here. Do your thing or whatever. And she left. She respected it. She left or whatever. And she's always been a G. She was like, oh, I'm happy. Go ahead. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And man, let me tell you, that it was the worst time ever.
Yeah. Right.
Because I just could not ever get his approval.
Yeah.
It sucked. It sucked or whatever. And it turned out to us getting to a really, really bad place. And me finally get me having to leave him. I would
Yeah,
be having
right.
to leave him and go and stay with my mom.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And then it got me to a place where, you know, I hit him up or whatever, because I still wanted to be cool with him and still find ways to, you know, be that son to him, you know. But I realized that at first, when I was like 19, 20, I realized that this is not going to work
yeah,
or
right.
whatever, and I just cut him off.
Yeah,
You know, then I got into music when I was 24, 23, 24,
right, right.
or whatever. And when at the same time, when I like my first mixtape that All Go Everything was on, Don't Be Safe, when I had first got the cover done, at the same time my pops had caught a heart attack,
Yeah,
a stroke or somewhat or whatever, boom, 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 like working. He's still
yeah,
working. He
yeah,
won't stop
right.
working. He
Yeah,
won't
right.
stop working.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I love that he instilled that
But
in
yeah,
me.
you had 100% that.
You
My
know,
dad's
like
the
a
same way,
work,
dude. It's a
like
hundred
you can't
percent.
outwork me. I don't
Yeah,
care what you think, who you are.
yeah,
You cannot outwork me, because me and my brothers and my sisters, like, if it's one thing that our father gave us,
yeah,
is to work until you die.
yeah, right. Yeah, yeah,
Like, work until you die. Like,
yeah. For
die.
better,
You know what I'm
for
saying?
better or for worse.
Whatever. You know,
Yeah,
work.
right.
So when at the same time I was coming to visit him and check on him or whatever, it had been a minute since I pulled up on him. It had been 4 years
Yeah,
or whatever, you know what I'm saying, where I had completely stopped talking to this man.
yeah,
Or whatever, like, I'm done with you. Or
yeah,
whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta figure myself out in life. I gotta get my shit together as a man for me.
yeah,
I'm done with you. I don't want no, I'm done.
yeah,
So boom, when I went to go see him or whatever, boom, 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 that right there was the start of, man, the best 8 years, man.
yeah.
The
Good.
best 8 years, because when I showed him my cover, I would ever, like, that was the first time I could see in his eyes where it's like, oh man. You know
Doing
what I'm
it.
saying? Because he played guitar his whole life.
Right,
But we never talked about music, because I didn't do music when I was growing up.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I was trying to do the car thing and be a shop boy or
Yeah,
whatever,
right.
you know what I'm saying? But that just wasn't me. I hated that shit.
Yeah,
I
right.
hated I hated it. I fucking
Yeah, right.
hated it so much.
Yeah,
And so to answer your question, man, when I was able to get my father's validation, um that right there, that was it. That
yeah.
was it. Like, that was it.
So that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, everybody. I think everybody on Earth understands that they grew up having a dad like around all the time. That's like the only. I'm mindful of that now, being a dad. You know, like really like thinking about like what was my relationship with my dad. My dad did his hardest too. You know, your dad was doing his the best he possibly.